Hi, welcome to my channel guys. This is the first part of Marvel Game Maker System. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and comment down below. Game Maker System. What a monotonous life, Alex thought as he cut down a tree to keep warm from the cold. Alex was a young man who was always interested in web novels and games. His dream was to die one day and transmigrate to some magical world, where he could use magic or similar things, as life on Earth was very boring for someone like him, who had no money and no friends. Until one day he fell into a silo full of corn while working on the farm he was hired to, and choked to death inside. A slow and painful death, but it made Alex excited thinking about the possibility of transmigrating to another world. Fortunately for Alex, it actually happened, but unfortunately not the way he imagined it. Rather than appearing in a world of magic, medieval, dungeons, monsters, or something like that, it actually appeared on a snow-covered mountain. There was nothing but a log cabin, snow and trees all around him. For the first few days he was excited, imagining that at any moment a magical master, a dwarf blacksmith, or even a dragon could appear for him to meet and learn from them, but unfortunately none of that happened. Today Alex had been on this isolated mountain for a month with no contact with anyone, and that was driving him crazy. While preparing a rabbit meat to eat, finally something different happened in the dreary new life of Alex. System download completed. Initiating initial operations. Alex was shocked to see these messages. Finally? I've waited so long for this, he squealed in happiness as he started dancing at being finally blessed with the system. System started. Introduction. The target was selected to make use of a beta system for transmigrated users. The system name has not been decided, but the user has full rights to use all features. The user will use gaming points to be able to create new games. Each player will be able to receive unique items as in-game rewards that can be cashed out for real life. The games created by the user will have to be made through the platform provided by the system, as the user does not have a computer. The user will receive a computer as a gift from the system. Only the user will have access to the game development system. The more players that play the user's games, the more gaming points the user will receive. Being able to convert these gaming points into more complex functionalities for the game, or even into useful things for the user, such as clothes, objects, knowledge, everything is available for the user. But if the host cannot make games that will please the public, unfortunately we will have to find another host. After reading all this, Alex had mixed emotions. Initially he was very excited to receive a system. Then he felt a little sad to see it was just a system for someone to make games. But soon after he got excited again to find that he could use those gaming points in the game so he could get anything he wanted, including knowledge. Excited, Alex looked around his little cabin and discovered that there really was a computer there. It was a computer a little different from what he imagined, as it had a very futuristic look and was extremely compact. But when he turned on the computer, Alex instinctively knew how to work the computer, which didn't cause any problems for him. Unfortunately, he only had 3 programs on his computer: Game Developer, Game Analytics, Game Following. Even though he searched the entire computer, he didn't have any other programs. That is, he couldn't access the internet. This initially frustrated Alex a bit, as he was used to being connected to the internet in his previous life, even working on a farm. But after spending 30 days without any contact with it, luckily he wasn't so uncomfortable anymore. With a careful expression, Alex clicked on the Game Developer app. So a window appeared in front of him. What style of game do you want to create? Basic RPG 5,000 gaming points, Advanced RPG 50,000 gaming points, AAA RPG 500,000 gaming points, Basic Adventure 1,000 gaming points, Advanced Adventure 10,000 gaming points, Triple Adventure 100,000 gaming points, Basic FPS 500 gaming points, Advanced FPS 5,000 gaming points, FPS AAA 50,000 gaming points. Several different game genres popped up on Alex's screen, and within each option, he could see that there were different features. For example, a basic FPS game, there were only a few slots for making maps, few slots for making weapons, and so on. As a AAA FPS, the user could make giant maps, lots of different weapons, and so on. At this point, Alex got a little thoughtful. He only had 400 gaming points. Initially he thought if he could buy some things like a television for his cabin, or delicious food, but for the small amount of gaming points he had, that would hardly be enough to make a game going down, let alone left over for him to buy something for yourself. As he looked at the list of game categories he could make, Alex saw something that caught his attention: Basic Sandbox 200 gaming points, Advanced Sandbox 20,000 gaming points, Triple Sandbox 2 million gaming points. This was the game style with the greatest variation between the price of each model. Being the game with the cheapest basic model in the store as much as the game with the most expensive AAA model in the store. But Alex knew the reason for such a large price discrepancy between the models. This is because the better a sandbox game is, the more freedom the player should have, so the more things the game should offer the player to do. Seeing the low price of the game, Alex knew that this would be the game model he was going to make. First, because it was cheap, and second, because he already knew what would be the ideal game to make in the first place. A game that wouldn't be very difficult to make initially, that didn't have many complicated features. But even though it was very simple, it still attracted a huge amount of players to play every day. Clicking to use the sandbox model, Alex saw that his gaming points had dropped from 400 to 200 in 1 second. But he knew that if he could make this game, he would earn much more in the future. A game that shook the world. Both adults and children loved it. Minecraft. Minecraft development. Using the game development system was easier than Alex imagined. He was initially worried that he had never studied game development in his life, especially programming. But when interacting with the system's computer, Alex felt that everything was much simpler than he imagined. If he needed an item to work that way, he just had to type that it should work that way. And the system would automatically fill in the functionality the way he envisioned. Using Minecraft development as an example, when he told the system that he wanted the sand and gravel blocks to have gravity, the system would go straight into his mind and understand what he wanted to do, of course. He even thought about trying to imagine Minecraft and telling the system to do it that way, but in doing so the system sent a notification to him that left him a little scared. To represent the host memory game perfectly, a fee of 50,000 gaming points will be required. As the host memory functionalities are very advanced, it will be necessary to upgrade the game to Advanced Sandbox, which needs another 200,000 gaming points fee. After seeing this message, Alex stopped being lazy and started thinking about every aspect he would put into the game on his own. Most of the game stuff he could do using the basic system resources, as Minecraft wasn't a game with a lot of stuff. He didn't need to spend a lot of gaming points on development. Of course, that's because he decided to use one of the older versions of the game. The game wouldn't have the latest updates like Caves Update, Nether Update, Villager and Pillager Update, but it still had a lot of stuff available. Much more advanced than early versions of Minecraft in its previous world. Curious, Alex asked the system something. System, is it possible to make the game available for players to develop mods? It is possible, but as the game is not made using any of the platforms in this world, the user will have to spend 50 gaming points to develop a mod development platform. That's good. I approve. Even though it's a little expensive, it's still essential for this game, Alex said with a smile on his face. But system, you said the game is not made using any of the platforms in this world. How does that work? Alex asked. The game is developed on a more evolved world platform, which reduces the expense and time needed to make the game. Of the 200 points spent on choosing the game style, 50% is used to convert the game to an acceptable platform in this world, while the other 50% is used for features used in the game itself, an acceptable platform in this world. How so? Alex asked with a frown. He thought this game would be played on PC or a console. The Advanced World platform is made for playing games where the player is teleported to other worlds. However, on this platform if the player dies in the game, he also dies in real life. That's why it's necessary to modify this platform so that only the player's conscience goes to the game world, and add a security system so that the player goes back to the original world if he dies in the game. As he read this message floating in front of him, Alex felt the hairs on his body rise. He thought he was just developing an ordinary computer game, but he was actually working on a program that sent people to other worlds. If there was no such security system, would players die in his games? Luckily there was this security system, so Alex was more reassured about it. Over time he even got excited imagining what it would be like to play Minecraft in person. He had seen videos of people playing Minecraft in VR in his previous life, but nobody really liked it. They said it was too weird and claustrophobic. Some professionals even said it was because of the hardware limitation at the time, but according to what the system said, Alex would not have to worry about this limitation and could experience the game perfectly. With that in mind, he was even more concerned about making the game better, to turn the game's lighting into something more realistic. He even paid another 50 gaming points to add a pack of shaders to the game world. It would be very strange to enter another reality and the sun is weak, the water has no reflection. After that the graphics were amazing. The problem was when he started to feel like he had forgotten about some things in the game. What do I do? Alex asked himself worriedly. He played Minecraft for many years. But it's one thing to play it, another thing to remember every detail, every block, every mob, until he realized he still had 100 free points. System, is there anything I can do to remember all the details of a game? Alex asked worriedly. User can purchase a memory capsule for 50 gaming points. This capsule will make the user remember everything related to something specific for 24 hours. After 24 hours, the memory about it will start to fade if the user doesn't pay attention to that thing again. But if the user really concentrates on what he wants to remember, he can remember that thing again, but not so easily. Using multiple memory capsules on something specific can make that memory permanent. Reading that in the message floating in front of him made Alex break into a satisfied smile. He could still save 50 gaming points after using the memory pod. Without thinking twice, he bought the capsule and swallowed it. In a few seconds a lot of memories started to pop into his mind. Initially it hurt a little, but as time went by it only got slightly uncomfortable. Until he completely adapted to that memory and went back to developing Minecraft. Alex was determined to finish Minecraft tonight. Minecraft is ready. It's finally ready, Alex said in a tired voice as he finished reviewing the game thoroughly. He had been awake for 21 hours developing Minecraft and reviewing until he could no longer find any bugs. It would be nice to actually have lots of gaming points to be able to let the system play the game using just my memory. Unfortunately, my remaining 50 points are way off the 50,000 points needed to be able to do that, Alex sighed as he fiddled with the computer. In the Game Developer program, there was a test button. Alex couldn't think about how the game would be after being submitted. He was really looking forward to testing the game right now, but the fatigue he was feeling was very heavy, to the point that he found it difficult even to go to the bathroom. So, after washing away the dirty cutlery, which he used to eat the rest of the rabbit he had hunted, Alex lay down on his bed and slept very peacefully. The next day, Alex woke up excited to test the game. First he put some wood to burn to warm him up, and enthusiastically pressed the launch button in the program. In the blink of an eye, Alex found himself in a completely different place. Instead of the small cabin he'd lived in for the last month, surrounded by pine trees and lots of snow, this time Alex was finally feeling warm again. This is magic, he yelled excitedly as he looked around curiously. There was green grass, oak trees, sheep, cows, everything he had imagined was in front of him. The only problem that made him feel a little uncomfortable was that the whole world had something different. Everything was square. But unlike the Minecraft he saw through his computer screen, this time everything around him was square. It was like the whole world was squared to match itself, with emotion. Alex ran towards a tree and did something he always imagined it would be like, punch. Alex punched a tree. But instead of what he imagined, the trunk of the tree did not break, but began to show cracks. Punch, punch, punch. After 3 more punches, the tree trunk actually broke, and just as Alex imagined, the tree remained in place, floating as if nothing had happened. The experience of seeing this happening through a computer screen and making it happen with your own arms was completely different. Punch, 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 punch. Alex continued to break trees until something happened. The leaves on the trees began to fall, and between the leaves a bright red apple also fell. Curious, Alex took the apple and took a bite of it. What a divine taste, he yelled in excitement, making his blue shirt sway over the sides. Finally Alex noticed something different. This should probably be the first thing a person entering this world would notice, but having played Minecraft for so many years, Alex just ignored it without realizing how weird it was. His hand that held the apple was square. His arms were rectangular. When he took his own face, he felt that his face was also square. As he ran towards a nearby river, Alex saw a very familiar face. Steve, he said, shocked. Looking at one's reflection and seeing Steve was shocking. But unlike playing on the computer monitor, seeing it with your own eyes was strangely normal. His eyes moved naturally, his mouth moved naturally, there were square teeth that for some reason could eat the apple well. His hand had fingers that even though they were square also looked natural. All of this got Alex very excited, making him explore everything. He had adapted crafting to work in a more magical way. The player still had the inventory, but crafting had been revamped. Opening the inventory, Alex used his mind to make a cookbook come out. The book contained all the things the player could do with the materials he currently had, and the more different things the player got, the more pages the book would receive. Initially Minecraft didn't have this book, but this made many casual gamers not try to play the game as it was too difficult. So in later versions the developer added something that Alex also did in his game. Following the recipe given in the book, Alex opened his inventory and took the other item that newbies would receive. A black box with a tool symbol. The box had 9 compartments where the player could place the block miniatures and items they had. By following the recipe in the book and placing the blocks and items in the right places, when closing the box it would glow, and when opened again, the finished item would come out of there. Alex had changed more things in the game to make gameplay more fun for players, but that he was too lazy to test for now. Seeing that the game was starting to get dark, Alex realized that it had probably been 20 minutes since he entered the game. As he ate an apple on Minecraft, he felt he wasn't hungry, but his body and life really was probably feeling it, so he decided to quit the game for something to eat, with a satisfied smile. Alex rose from his computer chair and marveled at the system he'd been given. If he can keep using this system to make more games, the people of the world will go crazy about it. Even he, whoever made the game, was dying to play, so who will say other players? With a smile on his face, Alex used the mouse to click the launch button under the system. This button would make the game launch on all non-exclusive digital platforms. That is, as long as it wasn't a digital store for a console, or a digital store for a game brand. All stores that accepted developers' independence would have his game listed on the shelves as if he had actually signed up to promote his game there. After hitting launch, Alex decided to look at the system store and see if he could buy some cheap food so he wouldn't have to go hunting any more animals. Meanwhile, in an apartment in the suburbs of New York, a chubby young teenager was browsing the world's most famous online game store. Unfortunately, he was very bored. All the games were very similar. It was either a game about Captain America in World War II, or a game where a soldier had to fight Nazis, or worse, a game where the company just wanted to take money from players, making them spend a lot to be able to stay strong. Ned didn't have the money to play this type of game, so he was always weaker than other players. That's why he gave up on that kind of game. But no matter where he looked, Ned couldn't find any interesting games to play. He even went to the recently added tab, but he couldn't find anything there, until he saw something that caught his attention. Among several war-themed games, there was one game that was standing out a lot for being different, a pixel art that apparently represented a land, with a name written across the front in square fonts. Minecraft. Curious, Ned clicked on this different game and saw that the game page didn't have much information. The only information I had was some promotional images of a square man apparently looking after a farm, with pigs, cows, sheep, horses. Is this a game where the player is a farmer? Ned wondered aloud as he became interested. He had never seen a game where the player was a farmer. He was tired of war games, so watching a game about a farm seemed fun. Seeing that the price of the game was only $20, he felt it could be worth it. After all, if the game could entertain him for a few days, it would be enough. I just hope this isn't one of those games that sucks the player's money, he thought as he pressed the play button. Is heaven a square? When Ned pressed the play button, he strangely felt a slight dizziness before seeing that everything around him had become clear, having been in the dark room for a long time. Ned took a while to adapt to the light. At this point he was extremely scared. Shit, did I die? Will I become a soldier in my next life? Please no, Ned yelled as he started to cry and knelt on the floor. But when he knelt down, Ned felt like he was kneeling in grass. Confused, he wiped his own tears and looked around, only to see a very bright and colorful world. Is this heaven? Is heaven a square? He asked himself, confused as he tried to understand what was going on, until he saw a screen floating in front of him. Curious, Ned approached and saw what was written. Minecraft, single player, multiplayer, coming soon, quit. Seeing this, Ned was shocked. Is this the game? Nervously he hit the exit button, and feeling the dizziness he previously felt, but now a little weaker, in a flash Ned found himself in his own room again, with the Minecraft launcher screen in front of him. With the mouse over the play button, I returned. He wondered as he looked around his room, which was just as he had left it before he left. Ned was scared of this game, but like a good nerd, Ned was even more curious about it. After all, if this was a game, it was his duty to complete the game completely. Even more so because it was such a different game, he was tempted to dig deeper and see what would happen. Then with a confident expression, like a warrior going to an unknown war, Ned pressed play again. When he opened his eyes again, Ned found himself in the same green, colorful, and square world he was in before, but this time he didn't press exit, but rather single player. When he hit that button, the screen vanished in front of him, making Ned look around curiously. The first thing he noticed was that his arms had turned square. It's probably to match the world, right? Ned asked himself mentally. On his back he felt a backpack, so out of curiosity he grabbed the backpack and opened it, but instead of seeing what was inside, Ned saw a screen floating in front of him, with a book and a box, and several empty spaces. Curious, he reached into his backpack and reached for the book. Magically the book came out of his hand. Opening the book carefully, Ned began to read the instructions and was a little confused. While holding the book, Ned walked towards a tree and took a breath before punching the tree. Punch. As soon as he closed his eyes in fear of the pain the punch would bring him, he heard the crunch of bark breaking, but the pain he'd been waiting for didn't come. More confident now, Ned punched the tree again, and saw that it was even more cracked. Followed by other punches, the torso suddenly broke and turned into a small block that floated in front of him. "Is this floating?" he asked, shocked as he ran his square hand between the two trunks to see if there was nothing holding it. But really there was nothing. Picking up a small floating block, Ned put it in his own backpack and found a diversion. Not caring what the book was telling him to do, Ned started punching everything. Trees, dirt, sand, stone. Everything he punched sometimes broke. Curious about these little blocks, Ned decided to throw it on the ground and see what happened. Bamf! The small miniature block he was holding suddenly grew and returned to its former size as soon as it hit the ground. Whoa! Ned was shocked. He loved playing Lego as he had several different Lego collections. But he never imagined he could play with such a big Lego. So without thinking twice, Ned started breaking up all the land he saw along the way and started putting the small blocks in his backpack. When he felt hungry, Ned ate one of the apples that fell from the trees and savored the sweet taste of those fruits. If apples in real life were so good, I wouldn't mind going on a diet, he said in a low voice as he finished eating the apple and prepared to make his first build. With a confident look, Ned began to toss the blocks of earth to the ground. He had taken many blocks of earth to make this great construction. Bamf, bamf, bamf. Several blocks were piling up until they finally formed a large structure that he was proud of. "This is my castle, and I am the king. King Ned." Mwahahaha. He started to laugh out loud as he looked around. Brua. Suddenly, a deep voice was heard near Ned's castle. Curious, Ned looked around as he wondered. "What is this? Is it another player? But I'm playing single player. Maybe it's an NPC, Brua." The voice got even louder, making Ned a little uneasy. As long as he played behind a mouse and keyboard, Ned wasn't afraid of NPCs. But now that he was in the game, Ned was getting really scared. "Who's there?" he yelled as he looked around. It was completely at night. It was almost impossible to see more than 10 meters away. This was making Ned even more afraid. Until Ned finally saw the silhouette that was making the noise. But instead of being relaxed, Ned was terrified. "Is this a zombie? I thought this was a farm game. Why is there a zombie here?" Ned was horrified. He was scared of real zombies, and now he was seeing a zombie in front of him coming with its arms outstretched like it was going to eat his brain at any moment. Shit. Shit. He grabbed his own backpack and pulled out the book to try and see what he was supposed to do. But because it was so dark, Ned couldn't read anything. He had left the entrance to the castle open, thinking it would be easier for him to pass that way. But who would have thought he had opened the henhouse door for the fox to enter? Not knowing what to do, Ned did the only thing he had done so far. Punch, punch, punch. Ned began desperately pounding the ground and digging a hole for himself to hide. When he was completely in the hole, Ned took a miniature earth block and knocked the top part, getting stuck in a 1x1x2 space. Ned didn't know it, but by pure instinct he had used the most famous tactic in Alex's previous world for novice players who were afraid to play Minecraft at night. Dig a hole and wait until dawn. The food looks good. 1 gaming point for a pack of 20 cup noodles. Doesn't seem like a bad deal. Alex was entertained looking at the system store. He had looked to the other tabs for what might be useful to him, and aside from everyday things that were cheap, the rest was very expensive. He could get powers from anime, movies, but it was very, very expensive. Dominic Toretto driving skills. 3,000 gaming points. Deadshot weapon mastery. 10,000 gaming points. Greyfall Buster ice magic. 100,000. Mega Man fire magic. 500,000 gaming points. Unfortunately, even Dominic Toretto's driving techniques were at a price Alex couldn't even think to pay, so he just contented himself with looking at the price of food for now. He was rooting for Minecraft to succeed and generate more gaming points for him. Alex didn't know what the world he was like. Since he got here, he was trapped in this mountain, with no contact with the outside world. So he was afraid of meeting a dragon, or a demon lord who controlled this world. These 20 cup noodles can last for 10 days. I think that in 10 days Minecraft has already generated me at least 1 gaming point, right? He asked himself a little uncertainly, but because of the hunger he was feeling, and the lack of industrialized food he was feeling, Alex gritted his teeth and spent 1 gaming point to buy these cup noodles. This is divine. I miss this so much, Alex exclaimed happily as he feasted on the noodles, until he saw something that caught his attention on the computer screen: 1 active player in Minecraft. What? Has anyone already bought Minecraft? But it's been less than 30 minutes since I made it online, Alex asked himself, both surprised and confused. Opening the game following program, Alex saw that there was an icon of an active player, with a small 1-eyed button next to that player's icon. Curious, Alex clicked on the icon and saw that his computer screen was playing a world of Minecraft, as if he were in spectator mode. On the screen, there was a worried Steve looking around. Apparently afraid of something. He's been playing for just over 20 minutes, so he's past his first night. This is surprising. I remember my first time playing Minecraft. I had died to a skeleton's arrow at night and nearly died. For that player to survive the first night in such an immersive game is commendable, Alex said to himself with a smile as he sucked some cup noodles. Gradually he became more and more entertained watching this player venturing into the world of Minecraft. When he saw the player about to have a heart attack when he saw the creeper exploding next to him, Alex almost died laughing. This is like watching one of those well-crafted animations from my previous life. Those people had so much talent that they could make such compelling stories in Minecraft. This kid seems to have a talent for entertaining people, Alex smiled as he continued to watch. Without him noticing, an hour had passed and he was still watching this boy's adventures in this new world. Maybe this is the fun of those gods who reincarnate humans in unknown worlds. Maybe I'm fun like that for someone. Nah, I just sat in front of the computer and made a game. I guess I'm not that interesting. But after saying that, Alex realized something. But this player is interesting. How about I develop a way to stream this? With that idea in mind, Alex minimized Game Following and opened Game Developer. Using the Mine commands for the system made it very easy to implement streaming mode in the game. Unfortunately, this cost Alex another 30 gaming points as it wasn't part of the basic sandbox game mode. But he was satisfied with that. After all, he knew the power that live streams had in his previous life to convince players to buy games. Hitting the update button, Alex smiled and looked at that player's screen again. Unfortunately, he had been the only person to buy Minecraft so far, but it wouldn't stay that way for long. Ned was having so much fun, he hadn't even noticed that almost 2 hours of play had already passed. After discovering that he could make swords, pickaxes, shovels, armor, Ned became addicted. He wanted to mine deeper and deeper into the caves, but he was afraid of encountering some unknown monster. After he saw that green monster that explodes, he was shocked. But that didn't stop Ned from venturing into the surface and shallower caves. So he got his first iron armor. Looking at the shining armor between his arms made Ned very proud. He had conquered this armor with a lot of effort, which made him value it even more. But as Ned admired his iron armor, a floating screen appeared in front of him. A new update has come up. Do you want to update the game now? You will need to restart the game to apply updates. Seeing this, Ned was surprised. From what he had seen when he bought the game, it had been released today, and was there an update already? But despite the doubts, Ned decided to accept and disconnected from the game for 3 seconds before returning to the world again. So fast? Maybe it could just be a little bug fix, Ned said out loud as he went back to admiring the armor in front of him. When he went to put his old leather armor in his backpack, Ned saw something different there. Next to the backpack was something that wasn't there before, a camera. When did I get a camera? I don't remember crafting this, he said to himself a little uncertainly. When he took the camera, he saw a small screen explaining what it was. This is the streaming camera. To start a live broadcast, it is necessary to log into the desired platform account. Should I? Last time it didn't work out very well, Ned wondered before shaking his head. Damn it, I won't lose anything with this anyway. Why not give it a try? Certainly other people will be amazed by this game too. This could be my opportunity. With conviction, Ned logged into his Twitch account and pressed the camera button to begin streaming. As soon as the camera light turned red, he got a little shy as he held the camera, not knowing what to do. P. Parker. Hey Ned. Are you trying streaming again? What is it? It's a movie? Dude, be careful. You could get sued for this. D. Seeing his best friend's text, Ned smiled and replied. Hi Peter, this isn't a movie. Look, it's me. And he started to move his arms as he waved from side to side. P. Parker. What? How are you doing this? Are you using body tracking? How did you get so much money? Ha ha ha, it's not body tracking. Look, this is the house I built. In the beginning it was just an earth castle, but then I took some stone with my pickaxe and managed to exchange the land for stone. Now it's much tougher, Ned said as he started to show with the camera and explain the things he's done in the world since he started playing P. Parker. Whoa! How are you doing this? Please tell me. I want to try too. Dark Knight. Hey bro, what's this? I was passing through other live streams and saw that yours seems to be using CGI. Are you a VTuber? And so more people started arriving on Ned's live stream. Some came out of boredom, others came because friends called. But after joining this weird live stream, no one could leave. Everything was very new and magical for them. Ned often had to explain the most basic things in the game over and over. But no one got tired of hearing it as he walked around this world holding the camera. Viewers were feeling like they were somehow watching a human from another world as he explored it. It was so much better than a movie. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like and subscribe and comment down below if you would like a part 2.